Since I'm creating a third person game, I decided to go with the Malber's animal controller asset. I did vet a couple of the other third person character controller assets, and I also tried to create my own. But the amount of stuff that I wanted to have in this game kind of made it infeasible to create my own third person character controller. It's a lot of work. So this is the one that I'm going to be going with. I also designed my character based on the humanoid rig that Malbers provides. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So I'm going to come into my scenes folder, and I'm actually going to create a folder where I'm going to be putting all of my gyms. So here, I'm going to create a scene 00 character setup. Cool. All right, let's go into this one. And I'm going to use Malbers' bootstrapping script where it lets you kind of set up a scene with a human and the cameras and lighting and all that kind of stuff. But I don't want to use, well, I can kind of show you how the out of the box humanoid character controller works. So we'll just hit play. Okay, so there you go. We have our little character controller. You can see it has some neat little effects, the decent UI, and all of the control setup. It's a little bit janky, but that's okay. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and get rid of Steve. This is the player that is set up with all the basics. And let's go ahead and grab our own. So under my character, I have my GIF character, and I already set up a prefab that is basically my character model, but it has the Malber's what am I trying to say? It has the Malber's materials applied to it. And where is my character? Oh, there she is. Cool. So let's reset our transform and let's leave 2D mode. I don't know why I'm there. There we go. That's my character controller. So this, we'll just call her, actually, I won't change the name yet, but if I come over here, I can then do right click and Malber's animations and then create human player. And now I'm going to rename her to, I don't know if I should use the name or just player. For the sake of simplicity, I'll use player for now. And now if I go ahead and hit play, so you'll see more or less works out of the box, although I do have an error over here. Sometimes the setup script doesn't work perfectly, so I got to go through and clean some stuff up. So it looks like, yeah, I've seen this error before. So, okay, so it's for the IK manager, I believe. So let's just quickly verify a few things. Okay, so are my feet disappearing when I jump? They are. Okay, that's fine. So let's fix that real quick. Here's what we're going to do. Let me just save, and I'll enter the player object, and we'll go to the character. Just going to select all these, and then select these, and the arms. And we'll go into the skin mesh renderer, and we'll just update one off screen. All of these are all extra game objects for, this is a modular character. It has like different, like a male and female variant. It has like different clothing options and stuff like that. But for the purposes of the game that I'm making, this is going to be the outfit that I'm going to be working with for now. So now that we have that set up, that should handle the issue of like the feet disappearing when they're not in the view fully. And oh, I do want to also change this to the animal layer. So then we want to go into the player and we want to fix that issue that we saw with the IK. Let me just collapse all these. Go into IK and yeah, there you go. So F head. So I think it was, yeah, so it's grabbing the head mesh. That's this mesh right here. So yeah, it's supposed to be grabbing the bone. So let's fix that real quick. Take me back there. Okay. Oops. Like that. And we'll change this to, I think it's R underscore head, maybe. Yeah. Okay. So that's the actual bone, which is what we wanted. So let's go ahead and collapse that. And I'm going to turn on gizmos because I do want to see something real quick. So if we hit gizmos and just make the 3D gizmos a little bit smaller so that they're not too crazy. Now we can kind of see, okay, so yeah, I mean, that's fine. So the collider's the whole body, it looks like. And okay, so it did find the hand, although I don't know if it's supposed to have only one box over here. I feel like it's missing a hand. That's weird. Okay, well, I'll probably figure out what's happening with that one later. You know what? Here, let's save and let's actually play and see what happens. So my guess is that it, for some reason, didn't find or didn't like the way we named the right hand. So what we can do is in play mode, I can turn on the gizmos and then, okay, that's weird. So now the hand, was the hand on the left before? Oh, what the heck? Wait, I'm confused. Interesting. So it added the colliders after the fact? Okay, cool. I don't know what that's about. Okay, so now you can see both. Bro, that is hella weird. Okay, so maybe something behind the scenes happening. It looks like just pressing play changed things, which is interesting. So let's just save. Let's go ahead and start cleaning up the rest of this character. So there's a few extra stuff that I don't want to have in there. Like if we go ahead and enter play mode again, I don't know why it keeps throwing this error over here, but that's fine. So you'll see that there's some controls in here that I don't actually want. So if I hit like 1, for example, it slows down the speed like to a walking position speed, and then if I hit 2, it speeds up to a run. That's not something I want. Although, yeah, that's not something I want. I want to handle the walking and sprinting my own way. The other thing is like there's a double jump and triple jump situation, which I don't like. I only want to have single jump. There's another thing where I believe if I hit F, she can fly, which is pretty cool, but not what I want. And then so when you hit Q, that makes you roll. But if you hit Q while you're flying, that makes you use a glider. And these are all cool things, but they're not necessarily things that I want to add in my game. The other thing is like 4, 5, and 6, I believe, are for changing like the weapon that you have for those associated holsters. So there's a couple of things that are like that come stock with the character controller setup that I don't want to include. And let's go ahead and start hitting them one by one. Let's do, was it this one? Yeah. So let's change. Let's get rid. I don't want to have crouching either in my game, so I'm going to get rid of crouching. Dodging, I believe. There, yeah, so I can get rid of the glide state. I think I can literally just get rid of this right here. So on and put down player animals, say active state ID. Yeah, so I think I can just disable that here. Let's see. I'll test it. I'll test it in a second. Holster 1, 2, 3. I want to get rid of these. Lock on. I don't want to have lock on. Lock next target. Don't want to have that. Speed up and down. Don't want those. Dodge, we do want that. Interact, we want that. Jump, yes. These two, yes. Fly, we don't want that. Strafe, I don't want that. Pause? Yeah, I'll keep that for now. So let's go ahead and try that out. Okay, so as you can see, we can run and we can still roll. If I jump, okay, I can't hit Q when I jump, that's good. And then let's see if I jump, no, okay, V doesn't do anything, cool. Let's make sure that I can still run full speed. Yep. And tab, enter strafe. It's not entering strafe. That's good. Cool. So I think I have it done for the most part. Jump and Q does nothing, and then V does nothing, F does nothing. Cool. So yep, that's exactly what we wanted. C does not crouch, which is good. And wait, I forgot how to do rolling. Q, sorry. Wow. Okay. So I think that should be good. All right. So those are our controls. Now I want to quickly look at the weapons manager. So I do have a setup in mind for this one. So the way I want to create the controls for this character is I want her to have a, here, let's grab some of the, gosh, what was I saying again? Oh, and hold on. Did I even disable the double jump? Let me verify that real quick. So let's go back into the double jump. I thought I tested it, but I could be wrong. Okay, so jump. Oh, I still have double jump. Okay. Let me show you how to fix that. So if you go to jump, click on that. I think there's a place where I can change that. Hold up. Maybe it's not under this. Maybe it's under the animal controller, like so. I think under free movement is grounded. No, on teleport. I think I need to remove this, but I'm not going to do that yet. Let's see. Free movement on sprint. Where's the double jump? Stance modes. Oh, wait. No. Speeds. Nope. Extras. Nope. Let's try movement again. Sprint, movement, free, grounded, combo manager. Okay, so this is not where it is. On exit states. Fly, death. I'm not going to play with those yet because I don't know what they do. Stance. Okay, so it's not here. So let's go to advanced. Nope. not here either. Was it speeds maybe? Oh, here it is. Okay. So under jump, where is it? Jump V2. So I actually need to create a variant of this, which I thought I already did, but I could be wrong. Let me see. I think states, yeah. Okay, so I do have an override over here. And basically, this allows you to define how many jumps you want to have, as well as some other stuff. So in player, I'm going to change the jump to that. Where did it go? Jump V2, like so. Yeah, I think I can keep all these. I'm going to get rid of the glider because I don't want that. I'm going to get rid of fly. And I think I can keep everything else, to be honest. So that's that. And now let's go back to general. Everything looks good. Okay. So let's also do this. Let's now start playing with the holsters. Okay. So what we want to do, let's actually start in the general over here. So I'm going to ignore draw in order for me to have a an Assassin's Creed approach where the main action is the attack. Right now, in order to attack with a weapon, you have to equip it first. And I want to get rid of the animations that have to do with equipping the thing. We're going to store weapons after 3 seconds. And then this should be override the weapon layer mask when equipped. This will be ignored when set to none. I don't actually know what this does. I'm gonna wait on this. Can aim, yes. Okay, so let's say we don't want to have a start weapon yet, although we might later. And then inside of holsters, I'm gonna get rid of the right holster. And I also want to do this. I want to set this to false because I do want to go into Assassin's Creed mode. And for the left holster, I want to change holster 1 to action 1, right? Because I want the main action, the clicking, the left mouse button click to be the attack for the primary weapon. And then back holster, this is where we're going to store the secondary weapon. I want to change the input to action 2, like that. And then I'm going to add another holster over here, like that. Yeah, that's the one. Because I want to store the slingshot weapon. Even though it's going to be acting like a bow, I don't want it to be stored in the back. I want it to be stored at her right hip because that's where it makes sense. And then we'll do, yeah, that's fine. And make sure this is right. I think that's correct. Yeah, so there's our holsters. And I'm going to add a couple of weapons over here to kind of see how this works. So bow collectible, this right here. These are some of the weapons that I want to test with the character. So we'll say bow collectible, whoops. Try that again. Bow, collectible. So these are the weapons that Malbers kind of makes that he provides out of the box, or that the package provides out of the box. So the ones that we're going to be using in the game are the pistol, the rifle, the the rock. Do we want to use the spear? I think if the spear's the two-handed, yeah, I don't want to use the two-handed weapons because they have some nuance to them, and I'm not sure if I want to include those in the game. And let's add a axe. So I think the axe and the sword, they work the exact same way. I think they have the exact same animations and all that. So I think these are sufficient. So we have the rock, we have the bow, pistol, rifle, and that. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Yeah, cool. So the reason I'm adding these is because I'm going to be modifying them slightly so that they can work well with the setup that we have in terms of our controls, because they all kind of work a little bit differently. But let's quickly show y'all how this works. So I'm just going to save and run this scene real quick. Okay, so now I can come here, I can pick up the rifle, I can aim with the left mouse button, and I can aim with the right mouse button, fire with the left, like that. And then if I hit so I have to wait for her to put it away in order for me to attack. I might change that, but maybe not now. So let's do the axe. So it's kind of weird when you do have something equipped in the holster. If I have the rifle, I can fire. If I'm not aiming and I attack, then I can use the axe. But I don't know why it doesn't work if you don't have something equipped. So it's fine. I'll probably figure out a way around that later. But then if I come over here and I pick up the bow, so the bow replaces the rifle, that's good. Pistol, let's see what the pistol does. So the pistol does not replace the bow. So that's bad, right? Because I only want to see what happens. I can draw Yeah, it's so weird. Okay, so there's a little conflict happening, and I think the same thing will happen to the rock. So it'll it literally kept the bow and the pistol. So that just means that we have to modify those so that they work with our holster setup. And before I do that, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to my character, and I'm going to say I probably should organize this a little bit better, but for now, this kind of makes sense for what I'm doing. So here I'll just say, you know what? Yeah, yeah. I probably shouldn't do it this way. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna go to assets and I'm gonna create folder. I'm just gonna call it the I'm gonna call it asset overrides, right? Because I don't want to be ruining the things that already exist, but I don't want to be defining them in things like character because this shouldn't be coupled with with the asset directly in terms of like the stuff that it provides. Like it's fine for me to give like some of the colors and stuff. I don't mind that, but some of these things I'd prefer it to be a little bit decoupled. So I don't really know what I'm doing. So I'll just say I'll just put Malbers and wait, this was supposed to be inside of asset overrides, my bad. So here I'm gonna put the states in there. Cool. And then I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna create a folder called prefabs. And here I'm going to add these prefabs and I'm gonna make these original. So that way I make sure I don't modify the actual what am I saying? The actual prefabs, excuse me, from Malvers. So let's go in and start modifying these a bit. Actually, you know what I probably should have done? I probably actually that was kind of a mistake. Let me do this. Let me unpack these first. I'll explain in a second. So yeah, I'm gonna unpack these first, and I'm gonna delete these because I need to modify them first. So for the bow, I think the bow currently works correctly. Although I don't think I want to have for the game that I'm working on, I don't want to have arrows be I want arrows to be something that is like unlimited ammo basically. I think. So I think if I come here, I can say I believe I can say use local -1. Yeah, there we go. So we're gonna make the bow have infinite ammo. I am gonna rename it to override like that. And I think that's good for that one. For the pistol, what's going to matter, I do want the things that have the things that use like bullets. I want these to have a finite amount of ammo. So I'm going to keep those the way they are. But what I'm going to need to change here is the holster, I believe. So this one is supposed to go into the right holster. Actually, it's not. So it's a little bit confusing for me, but I think this is this is the ID for the holster. So it's actually going to be the back holster, I believe. Was it back holster 1? Yeah. And then but the holster animation, so the animation that actually plays, I believe it's going to be if she's going to be holding her right hand, I want it to be I don't know, left holster maybe? Let's try it. So we'll do left holster and I think in order so in on the player object because I defined on the back holster, because I defined holster right as this one, I think the way it works is I can define the holster index as 1, and that'll use the right holster. I don't know if this is right. Yeah, I actually should do right holster, I think. Let's try this. Let's see what happens. So what's most important is that it takes up the back holster slot. That way I can hold a bow or a pistol. Like I can only have one ranged weapon basically. So let's try this. We come here and we pick up the axe. Cool. And that should go into my left holster. And then I come in here and I pick up the pistol. I can aim and I can fire and I wait for that to go away. Okay, cool. So it went to the. It looks funny that way because of the way she put it away. Maybe I shouldn't have it there. I don't know. I'll have to think about this. So there we go. Yeah, because when she puts it away, it's like backwards. Okay, but she can aim. Okay, so that's the right approach. Now let me just make sure that when I pick up the bow, that it's so funny. When I pick up the bow, cool. Okay, so that was exactly what was supposed to happen. Cool. So they both occupy the back holster space. Although now I'm wondering if I should have the pistol be let me see what happens if I change this to the left. Front holster, that's interesting. Let's see. So I pick this up. Okay, put it away. Wait, that went to the wrong place. Okay. Okay, so I think what happened is so the left holster is just the animation that plays, but where it's going to be stored, it can't be stored in the left holster because the axe is already there. Okay, that's fine. I wonder I wonder what the front holster is. Never seen this one before. Let's see what happens. Put it away. Where did that go? Yeah, I have no idea where the front holster is. Although that might look pretty cool. Let's see what that looks like. So if we go to the player, I think if we can just add, I haven't used the front holster before. It's cool. So let's add the front holster. Where is it? Oh, wait, what? Interesting. Um, okay. Is that not a thing? Is there no front holster? Interesting. Okay, so there's no front holster. So that was wrong. Let's just undo that a bunch of times. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I guess if it goes into the holster right, that should be fine, right? Like, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I wonder if I can put it in the left holster. Let's see what happens. Holster left. I mean, we can find out. Cool. So we'll do that. I mean, I mean, we're learning, I guess. So we go to pistol and we said this is going to be 2 and it's going to be using the left holster animation like that. Let's see what happens. I'll probably have to customize it a little bit. But for now, just for the purpose of getting through this, let's see what happens. Okay. So we pick up the gun, we pick up the axe. Where'd the gun go? Okay, so the gun went. Oh, wait, that's not bad. Let's see what happens when she puts it away. It's backwards, but I mean, I don't know how I like this. I feel like that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, it's working, right? Like there's 2 things that are going there. So it's not giving me any issues yet. And I think the animation makes more sense, like for her to put it there, right? Maybe. I don't know. I like it better than the right animation, right? Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it the way it was before, just so that way I don't accidentally have any issues that might occur. We'll get rid of that one, and we'll just make it like that. Yeah, because I want to minimize the potential places where I could be breaking things. So let's now modify the raw. Yeah, let me change this actually. So we'll change this to say pistol collectible override, like so. The rifle is fine, I think. Yeah, I think the rifle is fine for now. The rock, okay. So the rock is going to be a gun. I think the issue here was, yeah, so we need to make this use the back holster, but we need to have it use the right holster animation, and the holster is going to be index 1. Cool. And this one already has, I think this one already has like unlimited ammo, but it does have a little issue where I'll show you in a second. And the axe collectible, let me just change this to axe collectible override. Cool. And that's just for the purpose of my sanity. Save that and run. Okay. So now if I come here and I pick up the rock, and then if I pick up the axe, cool. The rock is put away. If I want to aim the rock, I hit the left mouse button and I can throw, and then I can switch to the axe. And then if I pick up the bow, it'll drop the rock. And then if I pick up this, it'll drop that. And then if I pick up the rifle, it'll drop that. Cool. So here's the thing, right? The purpose behind the rock was I'm gonna have to figure out how I want to do this, but because the game is taking place in like a ruined environment, I don't actually want the rock to be a collectible. What I want the rock to be is something that is, how do I explain this? Like you only have it until you pick up a weapon and then you never use it again, basically. That's sort of like the idea. So it's there by like default. It's like you kind of like picking things up and launching them, but it's not necessarily a weapon that you can pick up, if that makes sense. Because I mean, it's not going to be important. The other thing is like it kind of leaves the rocks on the ground, and it has a pretty big spawn pool. It looks like. So I need to fix that issue, right? So let's see how I'm going to do that. So let me first save these, and I actually am going to commit this so that once I preserve these here, I'm going to go ahead and commit these changes real quick. So let's do this real quick. Let me think about how I want to do this. So for the rock, I'm going to let me look at how okay, so there's the owner. I think if I go to shootable and then if I go to the projectile, it's using okay, cool. So I think what I'm going to do is duplicate this or just copy this and I'm going to move it to my overrides. I'll put it here, I guess, and I'll call it rock override. Okay. Yeah. We'll call it rock override like that. And I'm going to come here and say projectile life 0. Life impact. What's this? Life of the projectile after impact. Wait, what? Oh, wait, wrong one. Sorry. Life impact is 0. Radius. Radius of the projectile, the cast rate to find targets better. Whatever, that's fine. So hit layer, we will only do default animal enemy item body part. I think. Yeah. Do we want to do water? I don't know if we want to do water. I'll figure that out later. So I think that should be fine. So let's just now we'll go to rock collectible override and we'll change the projectile to that, like so. I think that's it. So now we can go and hit play, and hopefully it starts despawning them. Okay, so let's pick it up, and hopefully they don't stick around. Cool, they disappear. Although they do bounce for a second. That's fine. Yeah. It looks so dumb. Okay. Yeah, it should be disappearing on impact, but it is what it is. Rock override pool, where are you? Wait, what? Okay, that's not good. Okay, so that's not what I wanted. You're literally supposed to be dead. So that's weird. Hold on. I chose default. Yeah, okay. Maybe everything was the right move. Maybe that was the issue. Did I choose the right one here? Yeah, rock override. Not sure what the issue is. Initial number of projectiles. I don't want to have any. Yeah, like that. Equip projectile, spread angle, has fire in him, no reload. Yes. Okay. General. Rock collectible. Yeah. Damage. Yeah. All right. Save and try that again. So let's pick that up and hopefully it destroys it. It's still there. Where are you going? Dude, it's literally supposed to be dead. I do not understand. How's this thing still alive? Huh. That's so weird. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe I have to apply it? I don't know. I do not understand what's happening. Max number of projectiles in projectile pool 0. Okay. Initial number of projectiles in projectile pool 0. Okay. General events. I'm not entirely sure what's happening here. Pickable item. Destroy collectible. Destroyed after it's picked. I don't know what's happening right now. I don't want this to be pickable though. I'll say that. I don't want you to be able to pick it back up. Well, I do want it to, I do want it to be pickable, but what I don't want to happen is, what's the reactions? No reactions. I'm not really sure what's happening. We went to the rock override. Let's, I guess, what is this for? Index of the damager. You can have multiple swords. This different sword is different from another. Okay. Life. 10 seconds. If it has not touched anything at this time, it will destroy itself. Okay. Life impact. Life of the projectile after impact. If the projectile is not destroyed on impact, then it'll wait till it's time to do it. 0 ignore. Oh, okay. All right. I see. Okay. So it ignores it if, oh my God. On impact. Drag impact behavior. Oops. Hello. What do you destroy on impact? Disable on impact. Activate rigid body. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so apparently 0 is the wrong choice for that. Learning things. Okay. There we go. Wait, what? Where'd it go? I thought I put this to everything. That's dumb. Okay. I actually don't want it to impact the UI or that or that. Cool. Yeah, let's try that. Impact behavior. Setting to destroy, will not use projectile pool. That's good. Can we do destroy on impact? Let's do destroy on impact. Yeah. Okay. Jeez Louise. Okay, let's try that. Oh, this is so frustrating. Come on, buddy. Okay. So we pick up the rock. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. All right. So now I need to get rid of this real quick. So we're going to say, I'm going to apply this again. How do I apply it? Overrides. We'll do apply to all, or apply all. Cool. So that applied it to the rock collectible. And I'm actually going to get rid of it by doing this. So I'm going to delete this from the scene. Go back to our character. Okay. And I'm going to give her the rock as a base weapon. So the start weapon. We're going to give her the rock and we'll say, wait, maybe it's under holsters actually. Yeah, I don't want it to be equipped on start, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to click that and I'm going to start her with the rock like so. Okay. I think. I don't know what I'm doing right now. This might be a bad idea, but that's okay. Let's get rid of the pickable because I don't want her to be able to pick up a rock by accident. I think. Yeah. And I think that can I destroy this when she picks it up? Rock collectible. Can I destroy it when she picks it up? Pickable. Unfocused by, unfocused by, unpicked up, undropped by. Okay. Let's try it. Okay. So I have the rock. I can throw the rock. I can pick up the rifle. Dang it. I didn't want to do that. Okay. And it's still pickable? Disabled that. How's that? Bro, is it not disabled? I thought it was disabled. Interesting. Okay, maybe I'm overcomplicating it. Maybe we'll do this. We'll keep it pickable and we'll just have it. That's fine, whatever. If you want the rock, you can pick up the rock. I'm not about to fight it right now. Yeah, so there we go. That's it. We'll just make it a default level, default weapon that you start with, and then if you pick up something else, I don't know. If you want to pick up the rock, you can pick up the rock. Whatever. I'll figure out how to incorporate that into the narrative. So that's that, and then I think that's pretty much it for the weapons setup. Yeah, so we set up the weapons, we set up the character. The reason why I'm only doing these weapons is because all the weapons in the game are going to basically be variants of these. You're going to have a slingshot weapon type that is going to be a modified. It's going to apply a lot of the same principles as the bow. There's going to be certain like semi-automatic, like single hand like guns that are basically going to use the same animations as the pistol. Same thing goes with the fully automatic rifle. And then with the axe, it's basically all the melee weapons are going to be inheriting the same animations and the same like logic as the axe. So that's sort of what I'm thinking there. And I think that's pretty... Oh, you know what? Actually, no, I didn't get to the UI part. The UI part is important as well. So right now... should I do the UI in this video? Screw it. I'm going to do the UI. So let's say in our character's UI, okay, so we currently have this situation, right, where the health is up here, and when we run, there's the stamina down there. I don't really want to have that. Plus, I need to show the hunger levels as well. So what I want to do is create a similar UI as this health over here, but for the stamina and for the hunger, right? Because those are going to be the things that you manage. Although, yeah, I don't really like the stamina being down there. Like, yeah, it's cute, but it's like very hidden. Like you have to look down there to see your stamina, and like I would rather have it be more Dark Soulsy up there. So let's quickly set that up, and I'm also going to add a few things here. Now, with the health, there's a few health pickups that you have. So I think it's health max. Yeah, so there's health increase max. So this will increase the amount of health that you have. There's also the stat. We're going to need that in a second. We'll say health increase. No. Health add. No. We'll say health. Where is it? Health pack. Okay, so these are refills. So 20 adds 20 to your health. This fills you up all the way, and this increases your max cap for your health, right? Let me actually commit this real quick. Yeah, so let's go to the where is it? The stats. And I'm gonna handle the hunger later. I'm gonna first do the stamina. So I'm gonna change this to stamina bar, like that. I'm gonna hide this one, and then in stamina bar, you'll see that there's the health stat. We need to change this to the UI stamina stat, like so. Now there's also a UI health max stat. Yeah, so we don't have one of these for the stamina. So what I'm going to do is copy that, go to the, wait, where was that? Hold on. That was under assets UI update. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to copy that here. So we'll say Malbers, assets UI update. So we'll just say folder UI update. So I think this is just an event. And we're going to rename it to UI stamina max stat. Cool. And I'm going to add this like so. And this one's going to be a little bit funky because it's not actually set up to work this way. So how am I going to get this to work? Now, if I go to, I think one of these, fill area, yeah, one of these is going to have it referenced here somewhere, maybe. No. Well, there's no text. I'm going to not change that right now. Okay. Okay, that's good. So there's no references anywhere, it looks like, for that stat item. Background, okay, yeah. So this is just basic UI stuff. Cool. So it looks like what's going to happen now, the health has been, we'll say the stamina has been reduced. No, I don't want to do that. Fill image, stamina has been reduced. Yeah, so I don't want that to happen, right? So this is like, this is going to be, yeah, I don't want to do that. We'll get rid of that. Okay, so bye-bye. And it looks like that's it. That was float comparer. Okay, so I don't even think I need that anymore, but I'll keep it for now. Float lerp, whatever, that's fine. Cool. All right, so now let's quickly go to 2D and look at that. We'll shift this down by another 10, the way it's there. And I'm going to change this to slider green because that's the color in Dark Souls, and I'm just going to be using Dark Souls and Elden Ring colors. Fill, we'll change this to one of these. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And fill area. Okay. So now let's go to this, and we're going to need to find these in the scene. Okay. So I can go to the player, and it looks like it's under player stats. Cool. So under stats, if we click on the health, you'll see that there's an on health change right there, on health stat, and there's the on health max stat. Cool. So what happens when we do this? On health max stat doesn't really seem to have anything else here. So what we're going to do is something similar, where when you pick up a max, where is it? There. So on stamina empty. All right, what was it for the health again? Sorry. Okay, so on health max value changed. I'm just gonna, can I copy that? Yes, I can. Okay, so now we're gonna go to on stamina max value changed. I'm just gonna paste that, and I'm gonna change this to, thankfully I only have one of these, so we'll say UI stamina max. There we go. Cool. So now this is going to be invoked whenever this changes. Now, why am I mentioning this? Because we can also have, because I want to have like a way to upgrade your like max stamina, and I want it to be a visible change, right? So that way you kind of like know that there's like an improvement happening. So we'll say stamina increase. Okay, there is one. Cool. Now let's see what happens. So if I hit play, okay, cool. So let me turn on the audio. So I realize you can't hear anything. Actually, that sounds super distracting. Let's turn that off again. So if I come here and I pick up the max health, you'll see it updated that. You also see that I have like highlighted color over my body. No, that's because I changed all the shaders on the materials to use the Malbers shader. So I literally just copied all the color values from my model and made new materials using the Malbers shader. That way I could have that effect play when you pick things up. And then if I pick up the stamina, I want this bar to increase. So hopefully that works. Yes, it worked. Okay. And now when I run, it decreases. That's perfect. Okay, let's see if it increases. It does. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. Cool. So I'm not going to be using these canvases down the line. This is so funny how she's looking at me. I'm not going to be using these like bars down the line for the actual game, but it's good to like at least set up the logic, and I'll be able to like swap them out with whatever aesthetic I want later. I wonder if, yeah, I don't know if I want to have the attacks consume stamina. I might do that, but we'll see. Yeah, so that's super clean. I'm gonna do the hunger in a later video because the hunger is gonna have its own like nuances and its own like custom scripts and stuff like that. So I'm gonna deal with that in a separate video. But I think that's it for now. We at least got the weapons set up. We at least got like the health and like some of the UI stuff set up. I think it's good. I think it's a good place to stop. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, so yeah, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me while I start setting this up. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll chat with y'all later.